بسم الله والحمد لله والصلاة والسلام على رسول الله وآله وأصحابه أجمعين. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته.
السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته.
Walaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
All right, today we're going to talk about, especially what's going on in the world today, especially in America. For those of you that don't know,
Let's just talk about
we'll explain it more. We're going to
few-
talk about exercising, like being a Muslim, exercising your faith in public. And people think differently than not everyone's going to think the same as you, but where do you draw a line? And especially like for those of you that don't know, across many universities in America right now, people you see they're getting arrested for praying or doing public demonstrations, or they're having their rights violated. And like it's sad to see that. It does do something to your heart, especially because like you share the same faith as these people. And when you see this, you're like, how do you respond to this?
Well, I don't know how to respond because I'm not the one who went through it. The only thing I could do is like make dua, like call out to Allah, because I saw the videos. Like I saw a video of people at Ohio State University. I saw responses from like some of the people who got arrested, and they were held in holding cells overnight, and they were deprived from kosher meals, halal meals, and stuff. Like their rights were violated, like beyond like our belief. Like not only was their freedom of speech violated, not only was um, their entire First Amendment was violated. You saw videos where there were officers who were trying to attack these students who were in the middle of their prayer. I don't know what prayer they were praying, but they were all praying. They were all like gathered, and there was people circled around them, trying to protect them from the cops who were trying to break in to stop them from praying and to arrest these students. And there was an overwhelming response from a lot of the comments that I saw. Um, and I like my only questions is to people who are in agreement with the people who say like uh, you're wrong if you protest against Israel, or if you feel some type of way towards Israel, or if you even feel some type of way towards the American government for their response to a conflict such as this.
Wait, hold on. Because I'm oblivious to what's going on here, because I've really been on like any type of social media, like as of this past week. I haven't really keeping it to a limit. So you're telling me that people were protesting against Israel, and those same students, they were out praying in like their colleges?
Yeah, so the video that I saw, they were at Ohio State University. I didn't see the video of them protesting. I saw a video of them praying. They were all like on a tarp. There was a whole bunch of students on a tarp praying together, and then there were students circled around them because there was a whole bunch of cops. They said one video said that there was at least 70 cops there trying to break up like whatever they were doing, like their assembly. They said they were peacefully protesting, and they were being violated, trying to stop them from praying and stuff like that. So I just want you to imagine people praying in rows, and then students circled around them trying to protect them from cops breaking in. And keep in mind, these are cops. They're wearing those gears that you see like when people are protesting, like they got the face
Yeah, they
masks
got the
on,
riot gear.
they got
Yeah,
the riot gear on,
with
yeah,
the nightsticks.
and they're sitting there trying to break in, trying to assault these students, getting into these people praying. And that's just from what I saw. And then I saw someone who responded and gave some more information. And I was like, wow, where's like the response of like the other side? Like how can anyone think that there's two sides to this story when only one side has spoken up? Like you didn't see any response from the cops. You didn't see any evidence from the cops saying otherwise. All you seen was evidence showing that these students were being violated for quote unquote peacefully protesting. Because I'm not going to say one thing over another, but I'm going to say what I saw. We judge by what is apparent as Muslims. And what I saw was that they were being violated by these cops. And this creates a response that may create fear in some Muslims, especially for us living in a Western society, in a society like America, where the response of the American government has been so biased and so one-sided.
Because now it's like, how do we exercise our opinion against how do we exercise our opinion regarding foreign affairs? Is whenever we do it, it's as if like the entire world like
no, for sure. Like, look, for example, if we talk bad about Israel as Muslims, then we're anti-Semitic. We talk bad about Christianity, it's all of a sudden a hate crime. We talk bad about homosexuals, we're homophobic. But then whenever they talk about Islam, they burn the Quran, they stop people from praying. Then what is it? It's freedom of speech.
Or it's a war on terrorism.
Think about it. Look at the double standard here when it comes to the religion of Islam. And it always goes back to the same point again. Like they don't want Muslims to be at their best because they're afraid.
And like I hate to you can say, look, a person can talk bad about Islam and a person can talk bad about whatever, right? Talk bad about Christianity or talk bad about Judaism or talk bad about Israel or talk bad about any nation. But like you should have the ability to express that opinion, right? But when you go ahead and you silence other, or you choose certain words to create a narrative, that's dishonorable. That's like there's no other way to put it. It's a detachment from morality. These people are blatantly lying.
Oh, but look, that's happened like worldwide. We
Mhm.
probably already know somebody personally who they always got something to say. But then once you say something back to them, all of a sudden it's a problem.
Mhm.
And whenever we meet those kinds of people, we don't like that. You know, we're like, bro, this person's like sorry to say, but like, is this person like an idiot? Like, how ignorant can you be? Like, how are you always gonna have something to say? But then when someone wants to correct you on an issue or has something to say back to you, you know, they get offended, they get mad, they want to act like they're always right. It's the same thing that these governments are doing. You know, it's really no difference. They're just doing it on a larger scale. Because like I said, they're afraid of the Muslims. They're afraid of what they have to offer.
The thing is, nowadays, like people are put in power, and they're no different than like a normal human being. Back when you see, like, for the Muslims, they would put someone in charge who they believed had their best interests at heart. Nowadays, people in authority usually have their own best interests at heart. It's always a fight for power. It's always a fight to gain something. Like, you see all these governments in these countries that they take over land and stuff like that for what? They take it over not to liberate the people, not to help the people, but to take what they have, to take their resources. And that's when you think about it. Like, when we think about these situations that are going on, look at the way that these Muslims were standing up and fighting and still praying, even though they were threatened. They were threatened to go to jail. Some of them even did go to jail for a short period of time. And this is why there's no liberalism in Islam. Islam in itself is liberation. It's that freedom to, I know that I could practice my religion no matter what. If you tell me no, I'm still gonna do it. You lock me up, I'm still gonna do it. You try to kill me, I'm gonna be martyr. I'm gonna be a shaheed. I'm gonna be in the highest ranks.
And it's you derive that strength from faith. You derive that strength from faith. It's just like, when we look back, like, this year of the Prophet, peace and blessings be upon him. You think those companions, you think they weren't like shaken? Even in the Quran, you have the Quran verse. They were shaken so much. Even the messenger was shaking. They called out to Allah. They said, where's the help of Allah? And then Allah reassures them the help of Allah is near. And it's like you derive that strength to, I'm gonna do it regardless, because you do it for something that you believe in. I'm not surprised that things like this happen. Like, I'm genuinely, because who says, like, you could say one thing, but then it's just like you always say, I can say I'm the best boxer in the world. You don't think anyone's gonna come out and test me on that? I can say I'm a Muslim. You don't think that test is gonna come to me? Prove the faith. Do this. You might lose some of your
Bro,
livelihood.
a Muslim, bro, someone who is a servant to God, literally the best human being that you could be on a planet. You think that God is not going to test you?
Look, I mean, we can make this example here, and this is not me speaking bad about this brother at all, but a lot of us know of Devin Haney, the boxer. He's known as Muslim, and he had a fight recently, and he was training during the month of Ramadan. And he said he couldn't fast because this is how he feeds his family, and unfortunately, he lost. And for a lot of us, that's a sign from Allah. Like, you don't put aside your duties to Allah Subhanahu wa Taala for something that's temporary. And he claimed that he was going to win this fight, but who humbled him in the end? Who tested him in the end? Allah Subhanahu wa Taala tested him. And that's going to happen to the rest of us. And it may happen in a similar way. It may even happen in a worse way. For some of these people, look, they were challenged. They were sitting there praying, and they didn't let their faith waver. And, they could have been attacked. Some of them were attacked. And even for some of us who are on the outskirts, we're bystanders to some of this. What are we doing? I saw a video the other day of this guy. He was calling out a lot of people, a lot of like people who make videos online, have followers and stuff like that, as to like why they're not doing enough, to support not just Palestine, but all the countries that are suffering, all the Muslims that are suffering. And for someone like me, he was obviously calling for people to come to go there and provide their resources, provide their help people, like give out the aid. You know what I'm saying? And some people can't do that. So in my mind, I was like, man, if you can't do that, of course, make dua and donate. Donate to Allah a goodly loan, because He will certainly multiply it for you. And He says this multiple places in the Quran. You're never too poor to donate to Allah. Why? Because your wealth belongs to Allah. You yourself belong to Allah. Your body's going to be returned to the earth. Like, this is all a gift for us. You're never too poor. Trust me. Even if you only had $1 in your bank account and you chose to donate that, imagine how Allah would multiply that. Even if you had $0, imagine if you just donate a date palm. Imagine how Allah Subhanahu wa Taala would multiply that for you.
Even then, like, look, when it comes to bringing up of, our Muslim brother who was, you said he was humbled. by disobeying Allah, imagine Allah would have let him win that fight. And then he would have continued on. Because like I want you to imagine this type of mindset. You disobeyed Allah to gain a worldly gain. And then let's say Allah gave him that worldly gain. Now he's thinking in his head, like, all right, I was able to disobey Allah. And now I was able to win such a thing. Imagine what else I could do. And then it would just let him astray completely. And that could happen to anybody. But just imagine, like, let's say that day when if he got humbled for disobeying Allah, and then he came to a moment of realization, like, in reality, who really lost? Who really won that day?
And you know, I saw him post, and I love Devin Haney. I love watching him fight. I love him. Like, I love him. But after like the fight, I saw him post. He said, "Allah is the blessed planners." And look how, you know, perhaps sometimes you need that test. You just need to realize Allah is the blessed planners. You got to look around in the world. You look around in the world. You say, like, how is this happening? And then you realize Allah is the blessed planners. Imagine you had a character, right? Like the person, right? That you wanted to make him the best person he could be, or like maybe you had a son. You wanted to make him the best son. Would you just leave him be and let him enjoy everything that is good, or would you not like make it hard for him?
Yeah, bro. I mean, look, I didn't go through the same thing. You guys know how I played football, alhamdulillah. And there was a time where I had a game during the month of Ramadan, and I was fasting. I still fasted, but the thing is, in my mind, I was doing everything for the wrong reasons because I was still fasting, you know, alhamdulillah, and I was praying. I prayed on time. Like I remember right after the game finished, I went and I prayed Dhuhr because the game was at like noon, right? But my mindset was that, okay, I'm fasting. Man, these dudes don't know I'm fasting. These dudes don't know I'm Muslim. They don't know I got Allah on my side. Whole time I'm fasting, I'm gonna play better. Nah, bro. I played so bad that day. Like, I got taken out the game because I was playing so bad. I was like, what the heck is going on? I'm like, dude, I'm fasting. What's going on? And man, it was that realization after I prayed Dhuhr on the field. I was literally on the field. I prayed Dhuhr and I sat there and I was like, why did you think you'd do better just because you're fasting? You think you're above everyone else just because, you know, you're doing something for the sake of Allah, just because you're doing one of your duties to Allah. Some of these people may not be doing that.
Like this is no, that's exactly it. This is a duty. This is something that you have to do, and it's like people they do like, especially like, and this is addressing like new Muslims as well, or people who have this misconception about Islam. Like we don't do things for like a worldly gain or even like or a worldly feeling or anything like that. We do things why? Because well, we believe there's a God. We believe that God should be worshipped. It's simple as that.
And we don't go through doing something for the sake of Allah thinking that it's just going to make everything better for us, in the sense that you don't expect that you're going to gain the world just because you're fulfilling your duties to Allah.
It's like praising someone for doing something like they should be doing.
Yeah.
You see what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Like, all right, I pray 5 times a day. I fast. I give my zakah. Congratulations, you did the bare minimum. Now what?
You did what's prescribed.
You did what you're
upon
supposed
you.
to do.
Yeah, you did what's farded upon you.
Like, should I be sitting here congratulating you, giving you gifts and all that just because you're a person who doesn't lie? You're a person who doesn't steal. You're a person who gives in charity. No, like
Yeah.
you're supposed to be doing those things already. Like, why think that you're better than anybody else by doing those things? And perhaps, like, look, all those things could be useless because you could be doing it for the wrong reason.
And you know, when you think yourself better than other people just because you do those things, you just feed off their evil. Like you think, well, all these people are bad. I'm not that bad, so that means I must be good. Like no, that's fallacious.
And that's a beautification from
Yeah.
Shaytan. If Shaytan can't get you to fall into a certain thing, he's just going to beautify it for you. He's going to beautify the things that are you think that are halal for you, and he's going to beautify it into making you do it in a wrong manner. And what you just said,
like look, don't let the other people around your life, just because if they're doing something or if they're not doing something right or they're doing something extremely right, don't let that dictate what you're doing. At the end of the day, you have to like essentially write your own book. You have to write your own book and you have to dictate your own actions based off what you believe in.
Mm-hmm. Because what you do is between you and Allah.
And this ties back to, you know, when you see those students who are praying and they're getting put in jail, and you look at them like, why are you doing this? Because they believe in something. So a lot of people, especially today, like there's so many people here on earth, but like it's like they're like not even a person. They don't believe in nothing. They don't have anything. Like they don't have no will, no drive, no power. If you could persuade them with anything. I could persuade them like certain people. You can just persuade them with women. You could persuade them with drugs, with money. I can make you do anything just if I give you those things. I could literally make you do anything.
and you see how the faith.
It's like your NPC.
You
bro.
see how the entire faith of Islam is being tried right now. People plus the faith, because we as Muslims believe that like when our brothers and sisters are hurting, we should be too. and we should be turning to Allah in that moment because we're being tested just like them. Our test may not be the exact same, but we're being tested just as well because how do we respond to this? Are we going to give in charity? Are we going to give to Allah what is due to Allah? Or are we going to be waiting for the same trial to befall us and see what happens and be like, oh, if I'm in this situation, oh, I'd exhibit this type of strength or whatever. Like, no, you look at what they're going through. You pray for them and you pray for the entire ummah. You turn to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. But then you see all these other people part of different faiths or not part of no faith at all. And they wanna attack the entire faith of Islam, still trying to call us whatever they want to call us, acting like Islam is not being tried, acting like the Muslims are not being tried. And I don't get it. I don't get how some people out here can be so
It's a lot of
ignorant, so
it's
arrogant.
a lot of hate in people's hearts toward us, and not just in general. There's a lot of people hate in people's hearts towards everyone. Like it's as if like anyone, especially with the age of social media, no one has nothing nice to say. You know, the Prophet peace and blessings be upon him. We all know the hadith. If you don't have anything like good to say, speak good or remain silent.
Yeah.
Man, that just reminds me. Look, so we posted a skit the other day, and like I see one of my notifications on the phone just says, "Oh, like this is cancer," with the Islam, like with the moon crescent emoji, and like it has nothing to do with like the video, but like people always got something to say. Oh, this is religion from the devil. Jesus is Lord. You see what I'm talking about
Yeah,
here?
yeah, I get it. And it's all they have is to like spread nowadays is hate. You know, and I hope that's something that, especially us, Deentour podcast, that we could improve on that. All we do, like, and especially we've done a pretty good job on that so far. Like with the year that we've been doing this, is that we try to speak the best we can and speak good as good as we can.
Why you laughing?
Because
Why you laughing?
No, seriously though, like it's not even just the comments that I see from in our own individual videos. It's like sometimes I just be on reels, I'll be scrolling, and a lot of my feed is like Islamic or some type of liberal Islam person or anything like that, and I'll just see comments. A lot of comments either from Christians or from liberal Muslims. A lot of things that I see wrong, and I'm just like, man, there's very little positivity here. There's very little positivity like on social media. I'm not gonna say for the whole world because obviously I don't know the whole world. I don't know everybody, but it's just like from what I see for myself and what I see in front of me, like there's a lot of negativity and there's a lot that we can all improve on, which is why like we always urge for people to check themselves, check yourself, ask yourself, reflect on yourself, like ask yourself if you're being sincere in your actions, no matter what it is. If it's an act of ibadah, if you're just sending a comment, are you being sincere in that comment? Like these types of things, like you got Shaytan. Like nobody really realizes it, that Shaytan is just turning us against each other. You see how in certain instances, Shaytan, he can't turn a relationship between a man and a woman who are Muslim. He can't turn it haram. So now he's turning it into something where men and women should just hate each other. Now you got people who hate the entire species. They hate a half of the population.
There you go. Because look, before you mentioned Shaytan, and I was gonna say something, and you guys were yapping. I'm just playing, but you guys were talking. But anyways, like speaking about the Shaytan, yeah, the Shaytan he's an opportunist. He's very persistent. If he can't get you to commit a sin, he'll try to get you to lower the reward of whatever it is that you're doing. And even if you do it, he's gonna try to get you to have a bad intention about it. Because at the same time that you can always renew your intention, you can also renew it for the wrong reason as well. So you might have had good intent in the morning, but then right before you do it, you might see somebody, or you might have saw something before that, and now all of a sudden you're doing it for the wrong reason. So Shaitan his main goal is to make your deeds fruitless, to get you to sin, to get you to fall so that you can be right with him in the hellfire.
That's exactly what I was just about to bring up, because you said if Shaitan can get you to leave off a good deed, he's gonna try to lessen the reward. And a good example that I can give everyone is look at the age of social media. You may have a man or a woman, it doesn't matter who it is. They may be covered on social media, but they're still showing themselves. Why are you showing yourself? Are you getting the same reward as someone who's fully covered and not posting themselves on social media?
For sure. Yeah,
Like
exactly.
that's you may still be getting reward because you're fully covered, your aura is covered, but like it's the case for someone, let's say a gym influencer, they're covering their aura, but their body's uncovered. Are you getting the same reward as someone who's out here fully covered? Like if I'm covered like this out in public and I'm not posting myself at all, are you getting the same reward? And I'm not saying yes or no, but I'm asking you the question. Do you believe that you're getting the same reward? And if you can't tell me yes, then that's your answer right there. That tells you whether you should be doing that or not.
But then again, I don't think anybody in their right mind would say that they are getting the same reward, because I feel like part of our
Because then
fitra.
at the same
Yeah,
same
exactly.
time, you have to ask yourself if your intention is sincere, if your
There you
intention
go.
is pure, if you've purified your intentions before doing something like this. That's why it's very problematic when we see some stuff like this. This is why you have to ask yourself: is this something that can lower my reward? Like, is that something that I want? You know, and like, you know, you always see these videos. Oh, if you don't want to die in that place, then don't go there. If you can't pray in those clothes, then don't pray in it. If you don't want this to be your last action, then don't do it. All these types of things. But how many people are actually like thinking about that? You know, I thought about that so much. Like, I was talking to my brother the other day, and he was like, man, the reason why, like, obviously you'd never see me in a club is because, oh man, I think, man, if I go in there, I could die in there, you know, like I might get clapped. I'm like, yeah, but I don't know. And he's like, obviously I wouldn't want to die in there. So I only want to be seen in a place where I'm okay if I'm dying there. You know what I'm saying? Because you could die at any moment.
The way I put it is, especially with any action, it's similar to those types of questions. The way I just is God pleased? Is God pleased with what I'm doing here? And that just helps. Not even things like some things, they're not haram for you, but you could still like waste your time. Like they're not good as well. You know.
And that's also another question I've been asking myself a lot. Some things are not haram, but I'm like, okay, hold up. I'm in between two extremes right now, especially like when it comes to like um scholarly differences. You know, they have a difference in opinion, and I'm like in between two. I don't know like which one is the best for me to follow. So I'm just gonna avoid it altogether because I'm like, this is better for me. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's many conversations that I could bring up, but to avoid, you know, speaking on anything I don't know, I'm not gonna bring it up. But it's just a conversation to think about. If you're ever in a situation where you're thinking, okay, I don't know if this is better for me or not, then I just need to avoid it. And on wait, actually,
We all know that.
I'm gonna bring one up. Actually,
Okay.
I'm gonna bring one up. We all know this. We've talked about it a lot, but a difficult conversation to have is music. A lot of people argue whether the permissibility of music or not. And of course, you know, there's hadith that says that the Prophet ﷺ said that people of this ummah will try to make the use of musical instruments halal when they are not, right? And you know, some people argue about the permissibility or lyrics, if they're good or bad, or what's wrong with lyrics that speak about Islam and that remind you of Allah. If you want lyrics that remind you of Islam, that remind you of Allah, why don't you just go listen to the word of God? Go listen to the book of Allah. He gave you the Quran. That's literally a full reminder of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala 24/7. Every single word in there is supposed to remind you of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, of the day of judgment, of your deen. And yet you want to make the excuse that, oh, I should go listen to this that says like Allahumma, Allahumma. Like, no, go listen to the book that calls you to Tawheed. But a lot of people, they can't have that conversation. They don't know how to wrap their heads around it. So for someone like me, I avoid it altogether. I'm just like, you know what? I'm just gonna stay near the Quran. Like,
Because you can't go wrong with it. It's always
Exactly.
better. You know, we know the saying. It's always better safe than sorry.
100%.
But look, just imagine though, like, not only are you better safe than sorry, but look at all the rewards you're about to accumulate just by listening to the Quran, by reading the Quran, by memorizing the Quran. There's so many great benefits. You get better as a person. Like, how could you lose in this instance? But yet people just overlook this and just let it go through 1 year and out the other, and just keep it pushing. Just keep doing what they're doing.
That's like the reason why like I bring these stuff up is because I ask myself these questions all the time too. And I'm trying to share it so that people understand, like, you know, there's certain things that we go out here doing and we need to actually ask ourselves if this is okay, if Allah is pleased with us, if we were to do something like this. Because if it's not pleasing to Allah, you shouldn't do it. And if you don't know if it's pleasing to Allah or not, then either seek the knowledge or leave it off. Because if you have no knowledge of this situation, why would you still go through with it? And then at the end of the day, be like, oh, I didn't know. When you could have found out. If you choose not to find out, now you become arrogant. Because you have the ability to find out. There's no excuse when you know that, oh, I can go figure this out right now. But then you just choose not to. You just leave it off. You let Shaytan tell you, like, nah, it's okay. You know, you're good. Don't worry about it. It's probably halal. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
I just want to know your guys' opinion if like what I'm saying is, you know, it makes sense and like you think people would understand it.
I mean, yeah. I mean, those are the same type of thoughts that I be having as well. Like, would I want to die here? Is Allah pleased with me right now with what I'm doing here? Like, sometimes, like let's say I'm doing something. I'm like, man, like, I don't think this is the best thing to be doing right now. Like, even like you said, it might not be not necessarily haram, but it's like it's not benefiting me in any way, shape, or form. Why would I want to go ahead and waste that time when I can go ahead and be using it for something more beneficial? Like, I remember yesterday, you know, I was just sitting in the car. I wasn't doing anything. I was just scrolling on my phone. But I was like, because I was waiting for one of my friends to come outside. But I was like, you know what? Let me just turn on the Quran. And I just started memorizing verses that I was like, bro, like the last time I listened to, I was trying to memorize it. It was kind of hard for me. Now it's kind of easy. And I was like, but had I just sat there doing nothing, I wouldn't have done that at all.
Yeah, for sure.
Mm-hmm. And when you were talking about like things regarding scholarly differences of opinion, I felt that. I remember when I was pretty young. This was when I was like really started practicing Islam. It was like I grew a beard from like a young age, but like I obviously like in school people see like, what the hell, you got a whole beard, like you got a whole beard, and I'm like obviously it grows, yeah, it grows insecurity. But I remember I was just like, I remember like watching videos. I remember seeing videos like, to shave your beard is not to shave your beard is not permissible. To shave your beard, not permissible, not permissible. I'm like, okay, this is okay. And so it wasn't even a difference of opinion. It was just like I used to search it out. I was like, dang. So now I gotta keep the beard. So then I just grew my beard. I went through the patchy phase. I went through every single phase. You know, alhamdulillah, man. Now I got a beard and stuff like that. But like, I just remember like that just made me think of that. I was like, and my thought process behind it was like, man, if I'm a Muslim, if I'm gonna submit my will to God, I just gotta do it, because why not? And then also, I always used to think to myself, what's like the greatest expression of love? Like one of the greatest expressions of love is to tell someone the truth, tell someone the reality, tell someone it is the way it is. Like you want when you have a friend, you want your friend to tell you when you're doing wrong or when you're doing right. When Allah sent the Quran, He told all of humanity. When Allah sent the Prophet, He was telling literally all of mankind what was wrong and what was right. This is like I see this. I look at this like this is God loves us. He's merciful towards us to tell us what's right and what's wrong. Sometimes I don't know things, and you have to concede to that fact. If you think you know everything, yeah, buddy, you don't. Then you have to concede to that fact. So that's why you have to place your trust into Allah, who knows everything. You know. So should I shave the beard? Should I not shave the beard? Not permissible. Okay. And that's, and it was like the same thing with music. Remember, I don't know if you remember years ago when we had that conversation, and it was just like last time we ever did it.
Yeah, and I mean, even right now, like since like I'm past that, it's more like when I was talking about social media, and I'll be like, man, I always question myself. I'm just like, man, am I posting this for the right reason? Am I posting this and like, can I be rewarded for this, or can I be punished for this? You know what I'm saying? And I'll see videos of like other people online. I'm like, dang, bro, I can't tell you yes or no if you're unless I blatantly see you committing a sin. But if you're just sitting there, like public account, letting people see you, I don't know, man. Like those are just things that we want to be mindful of. I'm not telling you don't do it or do it, but I'm just telling you, like, question yourself, ask yourself, like, always check your intention. It's something that Abdullah like told us last week. Allahumma barik, he um helped me see like a larger reality that we always question our intention. Are we being sincere? Understanding that, man, could I be a hypocrite? Like, and being fearful of these facts, because if you're not, then you could fall into it a lot easier. So I think with that being said, make dua for Palestine, make dua for Gaza, make dua for Sudan, make dua for Syria, make dua for Afghanistan, make dua for everywhere, for every single place where people are suffering
and
at
the
the
people
moment.
protesting for them.
And make dua for people who are going through like tough times all over the world. Donate if you can. Donate where you can, inshallah, because Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will multiply the reward for you. And with that being said, assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah.
All right. Well, we hope you guys enjoyed this podcast. Make sure to share this with your friends and family. You never know whose life you could change by sharing this video. Also, make sure to join our Discord. You have no reason not to join it. And also, like I said, great things coming soon. Make sure you guys are prepared for it. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah. Go ahead, give the disclaimer.
We're not scholars. We're still students of knowledge, and we're open to correction. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.